Hello, friends. Welcome to the Dr. Vet. I'm Dr. P.R. Patel, Professor Head, Veterinary Medicine. Today we will see the last part of schistosomiasis, part 3. In this, we will see clinical findings, lesions, diagnosis, treatment, and prevention and control of this important endoparasitic disease. We have already seen the pathogenesis. In that, we have seen how the parasite reaches to the mesenteric veins and causes intestinal and hepatic syndrome. Now, here we will see intestinal and hepatic syndrome and their symptoms. There are two types of the infection: acute infection, chronic infection. In acute infection, there is profuse diarrhea or dysentery with mucus and blood because there is severe damage to the intestinal wall. Due to diarrhea or dysentery, there is dehydration, there is anorexia, and because of this, leakage of protein causes hypoproteinemia and that leads to edema in the body. In chronic cases, there is gradual loss of protein, so there is gradual emaciation, loss of body weight, there is anemia because parasites suck the blood. At the same time, there is leakage of blood and protein, so there is anemia. Sometimes there is nervous involvement manifested by incoordination of the movement. In pathogenesis, we already seen how the Schistosoma parasites from general circulation reach to nasal veins and they breed, they copulate, they grow and they lag into the nasal veins. In the nasal mucosa, it produces rhinitis. Initially, there is mucopurine discharge, and as there is growth of granuloma, there is characteristic serosanguinous nasal discharge. The nasal discharge mixed with mucus and blood is called as serosanguinous. There is a coryza symptoms. There is a sneezing, coughing, because this growth, granuloma growth, causes partial obstruction to the respiratory passage. There is dyspnea. This large granuloma are space occupying lesions in the nasal cavity and it leads to a breathing difficulties and characteristic diagnostic symptom is it produces snoring sound, that is because of the space occupying lesion lead to breathing difficulties to such an extent that clinician can hear this sound from a distance. It is audible from a distance, and this is a very important symptom for the diagnosis of an important disease, nasal granuloma. Schistosoma also causes skin disease in human being. Here we will see clinical findings in men. Here we will see only the animal schistosoma that is causing skin disease in human being, not the human schistosoma. So clinical findings in man, when the man comes in contact with animal cercaria, infected water. The human being come in contact with this schistosoma in the paddy field when the legs are barefooted of the farmer or when there is taking bath in the swimming bath. There is a penetration of Cercaria in human being through skin, and where they penetrate the skin, they produce erythema, redness, little bit edema of the skin, and a severe pruritus. This is important finding. Severe pruritus. And this is called as the name of disease is schistosomal dermatitis or swimmer's itch because because it is after the swimming bath into the infected water, or rice paddy itch because the rice paddy always grow into the more water. So if the water is infected, if the hands and legs are barefooted, they come in contact with water, and penetration of this cercaria produce pruritus, that is rice paddy itch or a lakeside disease. The same philosophy is working here. Sometimes lobular pustular dermatitis is observed. So this is the disease caused by Cercaria of schistosoma of animal in human being. We have already seen the pathogenesis, clinical findings, and the lesions are like that, schistosomiasis lesions. The lesions are rhinitis, enteritis, fibrosis, lesion in liver. All these three are affected: nasal mucous membrane, intestine, and the liver. Characteristic lesion is granulomatous lesion in nasal schistosomia or nasal granuloma that is observed in the nose, and in intestinal syndrome it is observed in intestine and liver. So wherever they go, they produce a granulomatous lesions because of the antigen antibody reaction. Further confirmatory diagnosis is the lesions contain schistosoma parasites and characteristic X. This is the confirmatory. The lesion always contain schistosoma parasites, and these parasites are large enough to be seen by naked eye, and a characteristic egg. That egg is spindle shaped and eggs has a spine at one end. This is the characteristic of egg. Diagnosis part. Diagnosis is based on history of occurrence of disease in particular area, clinical signs, and clinical pathology. Confirmed by examination of fecal and nasal discharge. It contains characteristic eggs. The characteristics of egg is the egg size is 100 to 500 micrometer long. The egg is spindle in shape without operculum, and some species have a lateral spines. The spine is a characteristic of these eggs. And by measuring the cell mediated immune response, because these parasites always causes cell mediated immune response. We see here the treatment aspect. Intestine and liver infection can be treated by the drugs used for the human infection and are equally effective in the animals. The drug of choice is praziquantel. It is very and highly effective drug. The other drugs are tibophane, lucanthon, hycanthon, trichlorophone, and nirindazole. The praziquantel is the drug of choice for those and other schedule requested to refer standard book. Specific treatment we have already given. Now here we have to give the symptomatic treatment also to get early recovery and to avoid complications. Treatment of diarrhea, treatment of dysentery, treatment of anemia, treatment of dehydration with fluid in electrolyte solution intravenously, treatment of enteritis, treatment of hepatitis. Some complication of the treatment is observed is that this drug causes death of parasite inside the blood vessels, and there are chances of thrombosis and embolism. This thrombosis and embolism may cause occlusion in the blood vessels, or when embolisms get lodged into some important organ, it causes the organ failure. Here we will see treatment of nasal granuloma or nasal schistosomiasis. The Tartec emetic is old effective drug. Sodium antimony tartrate, trichloroform. Along with that, symptomatic treatment of rhinitis is required. To check the secondary bacterial infection, antibiotic is required in many cases. Sometimes when there is excessive growth into the nasal cavity, it may require surgical removal of the growth. Prevention and control. There are three main approaches. Control of intermediate host, that is snail. Treatment of infected animal and prevention of infection into the animal. First part, control of snail. It can be done by three ways. One is the physical, that is physical collection and destruction of the snails. But when the snails are large in number, it is difficult to control. Then chemical control can be achieved by using several chemicals. Molluscicide. These snails are the molluscs, and to kill the snail, the chemical used are called as molluscicide. And third is biological control, that certain life control or kills the snail, certain bacteria, certain fungi, certain algae, certain plants, certain fish, certain birds. They kill the snails. That is called as biological life control the life. The second is treatment of infected animal with suitable drugs. We have already seen the suitable drugs in treatment aspect that can also be used as a treatment or as a chemoprophylaxis also. The third part of prevention and control is prevention of infection in animal. One we have already told, give chemoprophylaxis. Second is avoid contact of infected water sources. provision of clean drinking water for animals so that animal may not take the infected pools or stream water. Another important thing, intensive rearing of animals. When there is peak area or peak season, both for the snail as well as for the parasite, especially after monsoon and flood, these are the peak season in snails. And when there are peak seasons of snails, there is peak season of the parasite also. So during those period, intensive rearing of the animals are advised. Friends, I have to collect it and informed you the important information. I have collected almost most of the information required for a student or a veterinary officer. Requested to share this information to veterinary friends, to promote the channel, requested to subscribe the channel. Thank you very much for observing the videos. Next time we'll come with some other parasitic disease.